Hello and welcome to a radio TV. This is Society and You, and today we will be talking about the Liberian mentality. What does it mean when someone says the Liberian mentality? And today we have with us our special guest, Mr. Ekina Cannibal, and we also have with us in this discussion the CEO of 2A Radio, Mr. James Jensen, and you are all welcome to this interesting discussion. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
I'm glad to be here.
We would like to give you time to introduce yourself properly. And so I want to start with our guest today. For our viewers out there, you know, you are also welcome. You are the very special people in this program today. And wherever you are, whether it is morning or evening or afternoon or whatever time it is, you are also welcome. And please stay tuned and also share the video, give thumbs up. You can also contribute via text messages while we are online, or we're going to have the number up on the screen. You can also contribute by calling the number that you're going to see on the screen. So you are welcome to this discussion on the Liberian mentality. We want to call on our special guest today, Mr. Ekina Cannibal, who will be introducing himself.
Well, I'm so grateful for this opportunity. Thank you, Mr. CEO. Thank you, Madam Atto. And it's a good thing for us to gather here today. My name is Elkina Cannibal as a Liberian. This is why you brought me on board today for us to have the wonderful discussion. Thank you to the listener. Thank you to those that allow me to come with you guys today. Today having to be one of the good and more especially blessed day for you and I to be able to discuss what is inside and what is on our mind when it comes to the Liberian mentality. So once again, my name is Elkina Cannibal, a Liberian.
Thank you, Ekina. You are welcome. We also want to welcome our very special discussant. She's also a very, she's a household name on the internet, and she's not strange to us either. And she is Deborah, and she has her own platform. She's joining us here, and we're all going to be talking about the phrase Liberian mentality. What does it mean? What are the positive side of that phrase, or what is the negative side of that phrase? But we're going to give Deborah a chance to just introduce herself briefly. Deborah, you are welcome.
Hi, guys. Thanks for having me again on the program. My name is Deborah A. Chroma, and I live out in the Southeast. I'm a mother, a grandmother. I'm an advocate. I'm a social worker, and I seek justice. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Deborah. And I want to go to our CEO, Mr. Counselor. I always, attorney, whatever the legal term is, James Jensen, and you are welcome. You want to introduce yourself to our audience?
Okay, firstly, I want to say thanks to Deborah and Mr. Cannibal for accepting the invitation to appear on 2A Radio. 2A Radio is a global internet radio station. We are broadcasting from right in here, and we are concerned about Liberia. So the topic today is beautiful, and I'm glad to be here. Once again, I'm James Jensen. I'm based in the United States, and yeah, I'm here, and I'm glad to be here. So thank you so much, patient, for the opportunity given me to also debate the issue with two other fine people of the word, Akina and that of Deborah.
Thank you, thank you. And we want to start with our opening comments, and we're going to start with Ekina. I'm going to be giving us just 1 minute for that opening statement, and hence, as we continue the broadcast, we want to adhere to the time that is allotted to each one of us. And if it's 1 minute, it's 1 minute. If it's two, it's 2 minutes, because we want to, coordinate ourselves properly. And so, Mr. Cannibal, your opening statement, please.
Oh, my statement had to do with being a typical Liberian man and the understanding that we have been following from other people and having to be one of the key factors that carry us down into the pit. And if we be careful, what we're seeing today is going to be more than ever before. So this is why we want to discuss greatly on Liberian mentality, be a man or woman, our behavior as a Liberian, our entitlement what God has given to us, whether we cover it all with our behavior or we showing it the right way. So that is the topic that I think we want to look at this morning.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Cannibal. I want to go to Deborah. Just 1 minute. What's your opening statement?
Well, we said we want to discuss the real typical Liberian way. So we said that looking yeah,
I like that.
that looking we here. But I want to say something to you guys. There's something we always said, and I will be talking as a social scientist because we believe in change, social change. The world is revolving. It's not static, it's dynamic. But the normal saying of Liberian, I born here, I die here, that how it looking, that how my people been doing it before. So I just got to follow. No. We live in a global village. There are changes taking place, and we must be able to flow with it. So that's not how it looking, that's how it is right now. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Deborah. We want to come to Mr. Jensen. Your opening comments, please.
Okay, the topic has to do with Liberian mentality. To discuss Liberian mentality, we want to look at the mentality of other citizens of the world. What is the mentality of Americans? What is the mentality of Europeans? What is the mentality of people in the Asian world? But since we have the limitation, meaning we have decided to restrict ourselves to Liberia, the Liberian mentality is about the mindset. What mindset do we have as a people of that part of the world on the west coast of Africa? What is it? Like I listened to Deborah, I get tempted to also realize that Liberia have a way of saying, well, that's how we met it. That's how it should be. I'm in government. Okay, what do I do? Because I'm in government. That's the Liberian government we have. I'm not going to be in government for a long time. So let me eat my own and leave. The mindset of Liberia, not just government officials, but even the market women, those who are charged with responsibility. What is the mindset? Do we have a negative mindset as a people?
Amen.
Or can our mindset be transformed to a very good mindset? So I'm glad to be here, and at school, when we open the discussion, we might go into looking at whether we can develop our mindset or whether we can adopt other mindset in order for our society to be better. So indeed, I'm glad to be here, and I'm sure not only to be here, but I'll be glad to hear from the two discussants on this platform today, and also to you, moderator. I'm happy that this topic we will be able to discuss, and I hope others will learn from it too.
Thank you. We want to start with our brother Elkina. Tell us the meaning, because that's a phrase that have been passed on from generation to generation. Oh, the Liberian mentality, the Liberian, and all the other ones that, Deborah will name it, but we want to hear from you the meaning of the Liberian mentality, the meaning. And we gave you
Oh,
3 minutes, three this
how many
time,
minutes?
three.
Okay. As we going forward with the discussion with the mentality for our Liberian people, let's say in a Liberian way now. Oh, as a Liberian man, for me, how I understand our mentality is very different on planet Earth. Everywhere we find ourselves is very different. When I say different, in a sense that we're not looking ahead to see, we're not standing for some reason, we're not speaking to make a point, we're not moving to make an impact. Therefore, something I just said is having to be one of the biggest challenge when it comes to Liberian mentality. We cannot be Liberian outside Liberia, and we have everything that our parents sent us, forward, push us to the top by giving some quality education. But if we having to look at it to be a mistake, or it's just a mentality, or it's just something that into the DNA of a Liberian, these are some of the things that come on my mind, and I reject that. It cannot be a DNA or something which our parents give us orientation. No, it is not. Liberian mentality based on the Liberian man understanding, which dragging us down, and it cannot push us forward. This is why we come go in. We go into that very quick, saying, if we living, we all believe in something, we all believe in one quality God that we say we pray to, we believe. That's a mentality. We go and worship. We go and say, oh God, we thank you. Whatever we pray to, we believe in that.
That's right.
It become our habit. So now, if all Liberians just put together and look at one key point, that this destiny of every man, it shall come to fulfillment in our platform, into our training, to pass this over to our children. Okay, we can say it's a mistake, because one of the greater mistakes in the Liberian society that I look at is we're not willing to serve. How many of us, how many women over there on this show that ever served? How many men, my brother and myself, how many of us serve in Liberia? When I say services that I'm talking about, it's not like, oh, our pastor before, or I was working to the government entity this way. That's services. But the greatest things that I ever check for, and I still checking, I'm found to understand about Liberian mentality, start from looking at the ground which we stand for as a Liberian. Do we go through the love of the country to say, I am a Liberian, I'm speaking on behalf of Liberia, or we speak directly what it is in our gut that we feel we understand, or we do? That's how Liberian men think, number one. Number two, if you take this to be some mistake, services should start from, let's just look around our community, like nation and are going to the top today. Every man and women over there, they got a starting point where they serve. And the services are brought today that affecting Liberian mentality that we're discussing. It had to do with our national army. Every nation that gets greater, that have power today, the men and the women, they're willing to serve. Why? To go through the oath that it takes for the country. That gave them the heart they got, that they love the country because why? They went through that process. They went through the procedure. All nations around you and myself that having great understanding, that having great resources, that we all creeping behind, and I know what we get there. I know. They said. And there's an oath they gave them. And there's a procedure, there's a process they pass through. So when you go and become veteran, retires, resign from the military, you become so respectful and you know what the system serve you when you were serving, what they gave you. So that's one of the greater things that those great nations offer to their people. And it becomes some mentality of them. They plug that into their children. But our mentality here saying we're not forced to do so. We have to. Because why? It's generational something that my father explained to me how he served in the military before. Now, I look at that. I didn't take it to be like, say my father served and my father was this. I think I had to. But now, we didn't do this thing. We just walk away with that. Right after graduation, right after your education in a place, you have to serve. And that make you to be
more patriotic.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, we want to hold you right there, Mr. Cannibal, and we want to come to Deborah. Yes. So let's hear her obedient comment. I mean, what we mean when we say Liberian mentality, the meaning of that phrase, because we say that most of the time. We find people saying that. Deborah.
Yeah, thank you, woman of God. Like I said, we got this phrase, that looking. We believe that we just a different race of people. Like I always say on my platform, there are three races of people in the world: the white man, the black man, and the Liberian man. Liberians, we are a compound, complex set of people. The way we think, our ideology, our perception about life, the methodology we apply to our life. And that's why my chat room, you are blessed to be in my chat room, and the chat room name is Independence Mind Changer. There's a reason why I chose Independent Mind Changer, because a lot of times we flow with what we see. We allow the pressure from other people to influence our life. Therefore, we can make sound judgment. All right, we want to please others. So I created that chat room, and it's called Independence Mind. But let's look at the Liberian mentality. For me, I believe that the mentality came from our lost identity. We have a lost identity wherein we try to take the European culture and diffuse it into ours. We don't know whether we are European or we are natives. We have lost our values. We have lost our norms. We have lost our tradition. We have lost our culture. And because we have diverted from these things, there are a lot of things that are going on in society right now that are having a major impact on our lives. We can't accept to move and flow with the developed world in terms of social change. My mother got up in the morning or at night, we took the rice or we took our food, our potato green, and we put it up on top of the zinc. Because why? We were not opportune to have freezer to put our food in to keep it fresh. So in order for the our vegetables and fresh produce to be fresh, our indigenous people, our native people, my people, we took it and we put it outside in the night on top of the house or on the porch for the dew,
Yeah.
to keep it fresh.
Mm-hmm.
So are we trying to say because our people at that time was doing that because we have not entered into this era of where we have machines and technology to preserve it, so we should continue doing that? But the good things in life, I notice we do not apply it to ourselves. So that way we transgress and keep going back. Oh, I saw it this way, and that's how my mother and father did it. So I should continue in our trend. No, we live in a fast growing social change environment. And in order for us to develop, it starts with the mind. Our mind must be transformed. And that's why I refer it to the scripture. The Bible said, be ye what? Transformed by what? The renewing of your minds. The mind, when the mind is not transformed, it becomes static. There's no growth. We need to learn other things to improve, to bring about development. Take, for example, the toll system in the United States. When you are leaving from one state and going to another state, they have toll system. Why can't we apply it, in the country? All right? That when you're leaving from one country, going to another country, they have the toll system. You pay something. Whatever is generated from the toll system will benefit that country. That's another means of generating funds for country development.
Okay.
That will also serve as a means of employing people within those countries. There are a lot of things that we need to adapt from the West and take it to our country.
Thank you.
Like I said, we have a lost identity until we can go back and find our norms and go back to our tradition, go back to respecting people. Because we have lost this is why you find a little girl can look at an older person and just insult her or insult him. Those days when a man see or older man or older woman coming, he gets up and gave her seat. This time he sits and even put his pocket and he gave him chance. He will push them off, the chair. So we need to go back.
We're going to hold you right there. We'll come back. We're going to come back. We want to take Jensen statement. What does it mean when we say the Liberian mentality, Jensen?
The Liberian mentality, the word mentality means how do we think? How do we look at situations around us? So I will ask this question in answering your question. What is the Liberian mentality? And I will ask, what is the mentality of Liberian women? What is the mentality of Liberian men? What is the mentality of our Liberian students? What is the mentality of our market women? What is the mentality of Liberian collectively? What is the mentality of our officials? Now, to answer this question it's like saying, how do all of these people think in the different areas? How do Liberian women think about their social relationship with their husbands, their relatives, and their friends? What is the mentality of Liberian men in their marriages? How do we go about it? What is the mentality of Liberian men as to how they dress? Do we wear coat suit and feel that wearing coat suit is giving the impression that we have a better education, that we are much more prepared to do things differently or comparatively to other nations or other citizens of the world? What's the mentality of Liberian men? Well, to answer these questions, we think about, do Liberian mentality, is it positive? Do we have positive mentality? Do we have a positive mindset? Do we think positively? Do we increase or are we curious? Do we have a curiosity to change our mindset, to think about the way we do things? If you ask someone who is working in government in Liberia, he wants to wake up and go to office anytime. That mindset, that mentality of going to work is that I can go in anytime and sign in anytime and make the money anytime. But we have traveled to come outside. What is our mindset? Those Liberians who have traveled outside of Liberia, what is their mindset? towards the mindset they had before. In America, if you, for example, you're working for Amazon, Amazon says you must go to work 8 o'clock a.m. on the dot. A Liberian man who is in America, he has developed, he has transcended, or he has changed his mindset to that of the American mindset. So then he goes to work by the time the American, wherever he works, he wants to go to work at that time, he goes to work on that time. But in Liberia, somebody who knows that he's supposed to be in office by 8 o'clock a.m., that person gets to work by 10 o'clock a.m. or sometime in the day. And that mindset is like a culture that we all identify with while in the country. And we give the excuses, the mindset is that all the roads are bad. Oh, I'm from Castle, so that's the only reason why I'm coming to work late. Can the mindset of Liberians be changed? Yes, it's possible. How can we change the mindset of Liberians? It's some of the things we are doing, discussing the issues. Let me tell you a short story. I went to Penn State when I went on campus. I decided to go to church. And that morning I got up, and the Liberian mindset is that wearing coat suit. In fact, thinking about looking for my red tie, looking for my white shirt, and my black coat, so I can look so decent in the midst of people. So here is Jensen. Jensen not dressing, putting his coat suit and everything, and Jensen went to a white church. And so they're a very big church. But guess what? Jensen was the only person with his coat suit in that church that morning. The pastor that was preaching that day, he was in jeans trousers with that little sports shirt. So what was my mindset? My mindset was, I came from Liberia, and my mindset was to go to church. It means I'm going to wear the decent coat suit to go to church. But then I go to church, it was like an embarrassment. In fact, they gave me a chance to speak, to introduce myself in the church. When I stood there, in fact, I felt embarrassed. I said, wow, what? I mean, the pastor himself is wearing some kind of jeans trousers.
I know.
So we get our mind, to the point, and that is the mentality today. Even some of our colleagues who are lawyers, people think that wearing that costume is the level of education you have. But that is not it. In the Western world, people want to see how you can produce. What can you do? Do you have an education? Who cares about clothes? In America, and I know, nobody here, you go to Walmart, you want to buy your thing. The first thing is your mind is on your time. You're supposed to go to work. You want to think productivity is in your mind, no matter whatever little sector you find yourself in. The same to our women, the Liberian women mindset on clothes, on dressing. That one, I don't think those Liberian women that are in America, whether they change their mindset. They want to wear the best of clothes to go to every function.
Mr. Jensen, you want to be very specific now when it comes to this discussion. You're talking about Liberian women. Don't forget Liberian men. The Liberian men nowadays, they are different from the ones we knew when we were coming up, because right now they wear rings and chain more than the women. They wear the clothes they use when you're on the road, and maybe 2 miles away, you will be smelling the cologne after they have left 20 minutes and past 20 minutes. So, it's not only the women. I mean, Liberians, I mean, it's just something else.
Yeah, that's what I started initially. I still want to my mindset. We look at what is the mindset of Liberian women? What is the mindset of Liberian men? What is the mindset of Liberian students? All of these things, there is transformation taking place. Our officials of government, what is their mindset? Legislators, what is their mindset? Is it only to maybe prioritize that monthly check that's coming? Or is it a mindset that we have an obligation to build a society? We're going to be done very soon. At my age, I'm at age 50. I'm sitting as a lawmaker. I should be thinking about what society am I leaving behind? What is my mindset? Or I have my children. What is my mindset? Do I think I'm going to live forever? No. Do I look for money and put in bank? That should not be the mindset of any good human being. The mindset of Americans is to leave behind a society for generations. What is the mindset of Liberians? We have a mindset to say we want to leave behind a nation. That after we leave this world, that children that will come, they will see a society better than what it is today. the mindset of people of 1847. They found a country, they left behind a nation. We have it today. What have we done with it? So as we go into the discussion, I mean, we will be throwing out some issues or some recommendations to how we can move forward.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Jensen. I want to go back to Ekina. Now you listed some things. When Jensen was talking, he talked about the mindset of our students, the mindset of the men, the mindset of the women. Now I want to, we want to dive into go a little bit deeper. What do you think is the mindset of those people that are sent to public offices and they just maintain the status quo? What is that mentality that they carry that causes them not to do better than the people they succeeded? What do you think is the mindset that they carry towards it or the position they occupied?
The mindset they go with over there from the understanding of what on the boat, on the floor, the mindset I think some of them go with into parliament, into any position they find themselves is something worth free that sit there for them to go and grab. And one of the mindset they go with is they don't have love, likeness. They don't show play and allegiance to the country. The reason I talk about services in the military, when you pass through that process, the country is going to process you and you take the oath to serve. So it becomes your DNA that nothing is free anymore. What free you're going to do is the services you give first to the country. So because even in government right now, all those people, they never serve any national, when we talk about military, for them to pass through the orientation. So for that means, they go into the system where they found freedom in stealing the resources that's supposed to make a change, that make an impact. The mindset they go with is charity day. It was like this. Last government, early government, there was stealing went on, so I had to do my own.
In fact, we're all cutting you off, Mr. Cannibal. There's this saying that when you enter chat rooms and you look on the internet, and when you see people arguing about their political leader, is one of the things that they usually say is that, the past government did this, they didn't do this. Why should you be looking at this present government that is not doing anything? I mean, it's so ridiculous, because if a government comes to power and the previous government did not do anything, the present government should be able to do something. But because they maintain, that status quo, they maintain the culture of impunity. Nothing happened to the person that was there before. The other one, nothing happened. They didn't do anything. The other one is coming and they still doing the same thing. So everybody continue in that path, which is very, very bad, and it will cause us not to move forward. So continue, Mr. Cannibal. I just want to, you talk about that thing, and remember
one of the greatest lessons and the experience we saw in Madam Ellen Johnson government. It became past government. She was so sincere and truthful to the Liberian people when she took office. She decided to say, let me go America. Saying they change, we cannot find it in ourselves to bring some of these people that have seen, that went to Google school over there, like myself. So she followed up on all of these people, and she brought them into her government with the understanding that there will be change. But now, I don't know what we want to use. At the end of the day, we didn't see anything. Now, fast forward to this government, and it's the same Liberian working in this government. It's the same kind of food you ate in a rubber bowl yesterday. The bowl remain the same, but the food are in a different.
Okay, Mr. Cannibal, let me hold you right over there. I want to go to Jesse. You are about to say something. to what Mr. Cannibal was saying, Jesse?
Yeah, I just wanted to throw in, since we're discussing the mentality of government officials, those who get
Yeah.
into government. And I think this is something that we hope that those who really get or who have the desire to get the public offices will change their mentality. The mentality of wanting to go into government because I need money is all about what can I get, the bill, to ride the best of car, for people to see me. I don't think that's the purpose for which people get in the public service. The paramount reason why people go in the public service is to perform, to serve and not to be served. And to serve, it means you go deeply into knowing what it means to serve a group of people. A nation with about less than 5 million persons. If every official, every government that ever existed were targeting doing something, leaving behind a legacy, we would have
Yeah.
had one of the finest nations in that
Mm.
country, in that part of Africa. So I just want to throw that out that while we discussing these issues, it's not just because we want to come and sit and talk, but we want those who live in this country to understand it must have a positive connotation. You must have a positive thinking about what you have met. If my mother did not go to school and I found myself going to school, I should have a mindset that going to school is to be able to provide services for those who are in my immediate environment, or to do what is more positive as an educated person. And now for so purpose, I want the world coast and block around. We are having this platform because the same mindset that we try to have, some of us believe is not to be educated and well coached and go in offices. These little things
Mhm.
that we're doing, somebody can listen and learn something. Somebody can listen and have their mindset change. Let us assume that George we are listening to this program. You should also be able to know, hey, to be a public official, to be a president of a nation is all about the people. The mindset of a president should not be about himself, should be
All right.
about those somebody who's sitting in the front. Like yesterday, we're looking at a bridge, a monkey bridge. Somebody says somebody can pour 100 pounds of decoration on their head to cross the bridge. Does that
Hmm.
worry somebody? It should worry anybody. Those people who are over there, some of them are almost like living day to day and will soon be dying.
I know.
Somebody born and saw a village just as it was when that person was a child. And that person grew up to be a man in that village is still the same. What's the purpose of
Hmm.
that person life in this world? Are we
If
concerned?
in fact the village is not only the sea, it has deteriorated. The way in which
And
they
that
left
is
it,
true.
it
That
is
is true.
yeah,
We
it is
saw
no
that
longer
monkey
like
bridge
that.
is like somebody talking about rope. People connecting rope. This kind of a modern age. People talking about technology. The
Mm,
bridges that we drive on in America here, you talk about America, people say, no, we can't compare ourselves. Americans, you know, I went to South Africa and I saw, we were going to Pigeon Island, and there was a South African sitting by me in the bus. And then there was um, a side of the road. It's like those smaller bricks. People build that road. And the man
mm,
was almost like, I mean, he frowned his face and telling us about apartheid and how people, human effort was applied to build those roads.
mm.
It's not an easy thing for a nation to prosper. But if we don't change our mindset, people are going to leave offices with big houses and all those things, and the nation will remain just as it is. See, today, who knew today Liberia, capital city, will be crying for roads from Gabriel Tucker Bridge to Seaport Bridge, pop holes all over the place, pop holes.
Thank
Somebody
you.
want to
Thank
be
you.
talking about real estate. The
Thank you, Mr.
mindset of
Johnson.
people are not being to build a city. If that first mindset is to build a city that anybody sees will appreciate it, our people will do better.
Okay.
But they get
Thank
there
you
what
so
they
much.
need. They don't even care. They don't even know that road need maintenance. They do a lot of things
That's
on
right.
lip service.
That's true.
We hope our people will start to think it's
You
not about getting
know,
money. And
that's
we
true.
hear about $100 million Kuwaiti fund. We see
Mm,
the road we have corresponding in Lover County. You show us the
yeah.
road. Go and see that road. You see, in other thing when I saw that road, what comes to my mind, my mindset is that those men who are on the road, they're not going to live long.
Of course.
They're going to die soon because why? Somebody is taking shovel to dig up the road because you have to survive. How long is that person going to live for? Let's look at the lifespan of Liberian men. Why are people dying? Do we know the consequence of those things? These are some of the reasons. So until
So many
people can change their mindset, that
pollution
country
in
is going
the
to
air.
be just a die. Now people are going to die will leave behind a nation.
Thank you. Thank you. The dust alone, your lungs is going to suffer
Right.
that. The smoke from the cars, so many factors. That's why the lifespan of men in Liberia, I think, should be around 58. I'm not sure, but should be around there. You can check it out for yourself. Yeah, we still continue. Deborah is going to come on, and we're talking about the mindset, and we expect us to move from one level to a better level. The post for we have this saying in Liberia, you move from mat and you go to mattress. So it's like because of our mindset, because your mindset is the one that prepare you to do better, or you're going to do worse, because it's like this mental picture that you carry, that you have, this mental picture that you have within, and it propel you to the direction that you want to go. So our mindset is, when we look around us, we see an evidence of our mindset. That's what it is. You see a physical evidence of the mindset of the person when you come in contact with them in the environment. That's what it is. Oh my God. Yeah. So like yesterday we had a live stream, and in the house, the Liberian legislature, we had this live stream in. Two times they were light off. Two times they were light off. And if state men are having a meeting and they are going to section, the people that controls electricity or that controls the generator, they should know that this is a serious matter that is going on, and they should take it serious, and they should act in the manner in which it is. The people can be in section and the light going off, they in darkness. That's so ridiculous. And something else need to be done about that. But so that brings us to the place of our mindset. Or our men, the representative, they are in section, they are having a meeting, or just talking or hearing. It doesn't mean anything if the light goes off. Of course it does. It means something. It means a lot. And you have people watching us from all around the world, and our statement, they in the house, they having a hearing, and light going off, and you think it's nothing. It's something. It just tells us about our mindset. Deborah, we want to hear from you. We're talking about the mindset of our leaders, people that get into place of authority, and when they get there, they do even worse than the people that were even in the chair. What's the cause?
Thank you so much. Like I already said, we have a lot of identity, and that has to do with accountability. Accountability. Um, the mindset of people, Liberians, are, if I do it, nothing will come out of it. So we have a broken system, a country, a nation where there's no rule of law. There's no accountability, where people will be brought to book to give account of their deed. Obviously, people will not, be respectful. They will not be in a position to know that at the ending of my tenure or whatever I do, I will be called to book to give account of what I'm doing. Take for example, you have a guy who have invest upon. Let's go to Ellen Johnson. Let me use her as a case study here. The president's son went and stole millions of dollars from NACO. And she came out and said, I take full responsibility. She only came out to take full responsibility because she was the president and it was her son that stole that money. And that was it. The question here is, have she given back that money? No. because there's no system in place that's supposed to bring her to ridicule to give account of those funds. We are not wishing people, but these things must be said. She said, I take full responsibility. But up to present, she have not paid a dime. And other ministers that were found to have investment from Central Bank, where are they? The mentality, well, they will just talk, like people will just talk, when they finish, it will die down. There's no system. And when you have a broken system, you have corruption at its highest peak. So for example, the security situation in our country right now, you have a lot of rape cases. You have a lot of murder. Blood is spilling in our country. But no one is being accountable for these deeds. Because what? The national police is reluctant, because if they go and catch this person is connected to one lawmaker. When they make one call, these guys are free. No one is being brought to book. Another case is the 3 missing boys that has to do with phimosis. Nothing has been done. So we have a broken system. That's the Liberian mentality. We have a broken system. There's no rule of law, platonically. We have this thing called, we got laws, we have a constitution. But theoretically, the implementation is what we fail to follow. And if people are not accountable for their deeds and actions, Liberia will always be as she is, as if she's living in the 19th or 18th century. We are in the 21st century. People are still defecating on the beach. They are still using chimas in their very homes. People's homes are still burning down from the uses of cannon. Why? Because few people feel that because I'm in power, everything's supposed to be for me, myself, and I. Self-gratification. So the masses
Deborah, let me hold you there.
Comforted because what? That's called transparency.
Let me hold
There's
you
no
there.
accountability. Company come in, they sign concession, they sign contracts. Are they being monitored? No. All those the authority wants to do is to go and receive brown envelope under the table. All right? Well, other people were there. They didn't do anything. That means can't finish it. I thought they mean done.
That's right. Deborah.
I thought they mean done.
Yes.
That means we can't cook it now, it was done. There's no patriotism in the country. So because we lack true patriotism in Liberia, Liberia stands at 174 years.
Just
when
to
it
add
comes
what you said,
to development and infrastructure, we are nothing. We are far behind. So until we can change our mind that it is us that must bring about this change, that it is us, we must develop our country.
Yeah.
We will go and beg for money, but these people are holding us accountable to show that the money that they give us as friends, what are we using it for? We're getting this money, but we can see nothing that we are actually doing. So until we can change and know that it is us that must develop Liberia will be where she is right now.
Thank you. You said something. I just wanted to, say something when you made a statement about people defecate on the beach. And I mean, that's one of the things that, that is so, rampant. You can find in those shacks, those makeshift houses that people build. They build those houses because of the mentality that we have. Again, it comes down to the Liberian mentality. Well, we don't have a bathroom. We don't have anywhere for people to use the toilet. So you can just go on the beach and just do it there, or you just put it in a plastic and just fling it. I mean, that's another issue. The mentality we have to our environment. We need to change that, because we ourselves, not only, government and the people that are in authority, but if you have that kind of mindset and you're a landlord, you build a house with a toilet, how do you expect the people to ease themselves? You build a house with a bathroom, you expect people to go outside and take their bath there. I mean, we need to change that mentality. And that's why people just fling the thing all over the place. It's just you pass it in the bushes, you just see all kinds of plastic bag and all kinds of sicknesses going around the place, diarrhea and cholera and you name it. It's because of our own mentality. Our environment is not the thing that we take into consideration when we're doing those things. So we continue with what are some of the positive effect of that statement? Because we see most of the negatives, we see them. But what are some positive aspects of it? The Liberian mentality. I want to start with yes. Back to you, Akina.
Oh, if we look at the positive aspect of the Liberian mentality, I would personally say we still need to work towards it. Because even right on our own foot, in our own hand into United States, to find two Liberian men to have something common to do together is very difficult.
Yeah.
To say that work this up, that we will introduce back home, that will bring some mind changing activity. Because what we're discussing here, we done. Now our children, we're discussing our children to come. If we can find common ground in working on the mentality that they will grab from here, not just Liberian mentality. Because you find Booker, for a typical example, Washington, D.C., we don't have a consular in Pennsylvania. So we drive to Washington, D.C. to process our passport to go to Liberia. When you put in for a passport there, they tell you plain blank that, oh, the passport here, say you can drive back to get it, that expedite, pay for the envelope and everything, will ship it to your location. You will come and take forever. It will never reach you. Why? And we in United States. But you got the Liberian people packed in one building, what they call embassy. And nothing there to work. So these are some of the things that push Liberian going to be a United States citizen. Because when you pay for your passport, it walk to your house. You get no number to call, nothing. You're going to call. So long you process that passport, it walk to your house. The time they give you, it deliver to your house. But fast forward to the Liberian embassy. You pay for the envelope, and the excess amount you pay for the envelope is more than what you even pay for your U.S. passport to be shipped to your house. So the mentality that we're talking about, nothing positive adding into it that will make a great change until we keep coming, opening the platform to discuss it. Those that it would make sense to, we will get something from there that will introduce into our very homes to be able to help the generation that coming after you and myself. But for now, I see nothing positive. Even that go to the gospel that we talk about. That go to the mosque. That go to the gospel. Do we work together as a gospel preacher? No. Go to Liberia. We got one big office they call LCC, Liberia Council of Churches. Liberia Council of Churches, you got all the criminal packer over there. In the name of Jesus, they got an office. And in the name of Jesus,
Akina, you gotta be very careful. We don't know whether they are criminal. We don't know whether they are criminal. When you talk about the mentality, maybe it's
no the mentality. No, this is what we maybe say because we want to cross the line. What we say, the criminal mind that on that Liberian men carry around. We should discuss all of this. And we should start from our own houses.
To a radio disassociate herself with that statement. We don't know whether the people like Liberia Council or churches, the people there are criminals. We do not know.
Okay, they are not. They are not, but we need to discuss. We need to discuss what the mind is doing for you and myself. So now, if you and myself have a dispute because of the mentality, and we believe that we are Christian, and we go to that big office they call Council of Churches. We go there to find a refuge for us to be saved from something. But now, who do we run to right now as we speak? Because no door there open for you and myself to even enter to say, yes, we're going to say, okay, now, the woman of God, let's just make it simple. Our mind have been changed, have been transformed to be Christian. Do you think it would be very easy, or it would just be a waste of time what we find ourselves into, what we believe in, to say we're going low back to be who we are yesterday? No. We change rapidly. We change that mind and we become fellowshipper. We call ourselves Christian. Why can't we do the same thing into policy making, into decision making, into these offices?
Okay.
Simple as that.
That's
so
right.
that's why I use the word criminal.
Okay.
Because if we can change and we prophesy the name of God as Christian, we can also make a great change into parliament.
Okay.
You were talking about leg cutting off. These are the places that the legs are going to go off for months. Because the decision they made yesterday, is what affecting us. We choose those people. We hire those people to represent you and myself. They made decision. They're making no good policy for change to come. The leg will continue to cut up.
Okay, Egina, we'll hold you there. Let's take that, Jesse. Jesse, what the positive side of that statement, Jesse?
Well, I think there are a lot of positive side of Liberians. Liberians are people who love themselves. That's a positive mindset. Liberians are loving people all over the world, no matter where they go. It's always said, "Oh, Liberians are loving." All right, we know that there are some bad apples who discuss these things. There are fewer Liberians who probably will be involved into acts, incompatible to word love. But on a larger scale, Liberians are having a loving attitude, and that is a positive aspect of that. Liberians outside of the country itself, I like most of us, like what we're doing right now, is a positive mindset, hoping to see that there will be change in our country. So that's the positive aspect of our mindset. Ikina has a positive mindset because of what he has seen, what the outside world looks like. So when you ask Ikina, he wants to see Liberia like that. We all discussing. Look, there was time in Liberia. Let me tell you my own little story. We all were living on the bypass, right? And hospital we were living in. There was also students living in there. We all that were in there. Nimbadi Warner, who is now dean for the law school, Johnson Wolabo, or Israel Davis, we all live in a place. In the evening, we come outside, we all sit on a rock and we want to study and get ready for class. But guess what? That big house we're in, there's no front door, no back door. And when we get ready, so now we wait for darkness to come before you go and take the bucket. You know where we should take a shower sometimes? Right on the stairs. So when it's dark before you want to go take that your bucket and go put it on the stairs to take a shower. Was that good? No, it was not good. Do you think it's a perfect thing in Liberia? Like patient was talking about the structures in Liberia. But the mindset has to be Liberians. People go on the beach to use the beach not because they like it, but you try to start eating, and when you eat, you have to pass something out. But then, how many of our people are even doing feasibility study to know how Liberia is looking like now? What are some of the causes for people going on the beach to toilet? You can't go see somebody on the toilet on the beach, using the beach, and you think, don't look at man, look at the society. Think of belts where you have close to the beach. Those belts, how many houses are there that are having toilets? Who is responsible to ensure that these zoning laws are all respected, and people building structures, they ensure that there must be these facilities? On the 12th Street, the whole other side of Osinko. I lived 12th Street before. You know how we used to do it? We go on the Do River.
And I guess people are still going on the
No,
Do River.
not. But has to be changed? No, it has to be changed. So it means we all going to die. That country is going to be just like that because what? The last time we heard people say, okay, I get $30,000, I'm going to build some modern facility. How serious are they saying these things? That's what some old friend on the $30,000. Let all of them that took the $30,000 compound it and decide to say, well, we'll build public facilities. In the city of that, we will build public facilities. In America, as modern as this place is, some they get all blue and white, little things that are outside there. They post those things that are outside the public places. So they go, because they know you go outside for a long time, you might want to keep, or you want to do the other stuff. So number two, right? You call it, and you want to do those things. You have to go. You have to get facility to go and do those things.
Okay.
But you have to get leaders who will think in those directions. Some of them might be waking up in the night to think, oh yes, I'm the minister of public works. What can I do? You're not waiting for budget and all of those things. When you're building your proposal, your strategic plan, what you plan to do in the daytime, what are some of the things you're looking at? What are the goals? What are the activities to that you will do? You complete those goals. But the president understands that his mindset should be his ministers must support a strategic plan that you have to be looking at every morning to the public ministers you have 5 goals to achieve this year. Okay, the 5 goals you must do 3, 4, 5 things. Is he doing it? If he's not doing it, is the president calling that minister to say you must do this? But if the mindset is just to elect people because we feel some people get money, oh God, Joe is a millionaire, we're going to elect him, better the country up. The mindset is not who do we find? There are people in Liberia who have education, who have experience, they don't have the money. So nobody wants to even put their foot to say they want to contest. Because the Liberian mindset is to elect anybody who has money. Somebody who can get a few bag of rice during campaign season. If Johnson put his hand or you say you want to be senator, guess what? They will look at him. I want to get money. What I put me want senator. They're not looking at my mindset. They're looking at the mindset of those who have few dollars. Those who probably, let me just put someone a low hammer in that place. In America, I cannot know. He doesn't even know hammer. You don't want to see it. But let somebody get in driving hammer Jeep. The Liberian mindset is that person is the best person to lead.
We'll come back to you, Jesse. Deborah, what's the positive aspect of the Liberian mentality?
Well, thank you so much. I tell you, Liberians, we are fighters. That's the positive aspect of Liberians. Liberians are able to bounce back. Let's look at our 1990 crisis. When Liberians began to come back, there was this positive aspect that despite everything that was lost for them, they were able to, recover their sense of dignity, where we saw them gradually gathering themselves, the skills that they acquired from out of the country. Some of them went to Guinea, Ghana, Ivory Coast. They came back and they began to diffuse what they learned. Like we always say, we're born here, we'll die here, but the war took us out of the country for refuge. But when they came back, we saw a positive change. They began to get more involved into other businesses. They began to leave the country and go to other countries to do business. It was no more just Liberia, born here, die here. So that's one of the positive aspects of our Liberians. They are able to adapt. They are able to cope. All right? So the coping and adapting mechanism is one positive aspect that Liberians have. But I tell you something, the mentality that I did not work for this thing, so I do not value it, is one of the negative aspects that destroying the positive one. There are people with the positive mind that we must empower one another. All right? We must transform the minds of others. Take, for example, I'm out here in America. I need someone to build my house. The man in Liberia feels he needs to steal from me. I have a positive aspect that by employing people back there, they too will employ other people. But because of the Liberian mentality, all the people in America, they got a money tree. So if a bag of cement is $7, I would tell her, say it's $10 because of the inflation rate. All right? So because of the positive aspect, and you got the more negative aspect, it causing a lot of people not to want to trust people back home. So
Yeah.
until we can renew our thinking, renew our mind, and
Yes.
allow, to build trust, that
Mm,
people will trust us,
mm,
Liberia will always remain where it's, like I said, even in offices, like what Brother Jason was saying. I work with Amazon. If Amazon tell you you clock in at 6:30, you clock in at 6:30. We have 3 breaks: 50 minutes, 30 minutes, 50 minutes. If you go for lunch before, it goes against you. And you come for lunch, it goes against you, and they will take 1 hour money.
Right.
They will take it out, whether you like it or not. When you go for your paycheck, check, when you're doing, you look at your timesheet, you will see it. They have already taken it out.
Right. Right.
But
Okay.
in Liberia, we just don't care. And that's why I'm saying there is a need for the system to be upgraded. We need to have more system in place, like the clocking system, where we got the camera right over the clock. Because Liberians cannot be trusted with a lot of things. You tell a man he's supposed to clock in at 8 o'clock. He lied down in bed. He gave his ID card with his friend. Boy, clocking for me. When I was there in the employ, we saw other people clocking in for other people. And they were able to find him because they had the camera right there. How can you use two IDs to clock in at the same time? System. Because of the lack of system in our country,
mm,
there are a lot of negativity that is going on because of lack of patriotism. A lot of people are not owning it up. Corruption will never be eradicated. You cannot even eradicate corruption throughout the world. You can minimize it. But in order to minimize it, system must be put in place. There
mm.
must be law and order to guide the system. Because you can have a system in place, and if you have a system that is not there to judge those that are breaking it, you have a broken system still. These are the things we need to sensitize. We need to create awareness. We need to continue discussing for our people to hear us. The lawmakers are the lawbreakers. All right? They make these laws, but they are not upholding these laws. You have two lanes. A man knows he's supposed to be at the Capitol building at 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock. He stay in his house until 11:30. In the end, he gets on the road. He wants you on the opposite lane to push aside for him to pass. That's being lawless.
Okay.
You cannot uphold the law, make the law, and then you the lawbreaker. So until we can change our mind, change our attitude, Liberia will always be static in terms of development and growth. Like I said, norms. Corruption has become norms. All right? Being
Okay.
unpatriotic
Thank you so
have
much.
become norms. We don't value it anymore. We say, well, I looking, so we just got to accept it. We need to move away from living with God. There's no more living with God. And like
Thank
all
you
my
so
life today, I said it. The book of Proverbs said God has given us the spirit of discernment to know what is good and what is evil.
Thank you so
All
much,
right?
Deborah. Thank you so much. We just want to welcome Nene. She's also a part of the discussion on this panel today. We are talking about the Liberian mentality, and we're just about to run out. Nene, you are welcome. You want to introduce yourself at the same time. You want to, tell us your view. What do you think it is, and how can we, move forward?
Hello, everyone. Been trying to get on.
Yeah. So,
Struggling to go. I'm so sorry. Liberian mentality. My name is Nene. Nene Chooks. Or Nene Shefa. I know what you call right now. I will answer. Our Liberian mentality got us to where we are. And the reason why we are seeing our mentality now, it is because of the situation that we are in. The war allow us to travel and see other things, learn other things, know other things. And because of what we have learned from outside, we are now seeing our mentality. And before we never used to see it, before we thought it was it, we accept it. And I think one of the weaknesses we have, we are quick to be contented. We are quick to adjust the situation and accept. We don't fight. Our mentality, we don't fight. If we come, we accept, we just cause noise and sit down and accept and adjust to it. We're quick to adjust the situation, and when we adjust to it, we relax and just live it. We just make it part of us. And some of our mentality, we don't like to struggle. We don't struggle for things. We don't want to fight. We are not long-lasting people that struggle long. Like if we stand for something, we say we stand for the thing for 10 years, or if that's 7 days, 8 days, we stand for it. We don't do it. Our mentality is that just come outside, cause noise, and go. But we are not fighters. We don't fight. We don't fight for what we want. We want it to come to us. We want to relax and it come. And then we are contented with a Liberian man, got a job, got a place to stay, and can afford what he need. He is contented. And because of that, we have no push. We just feel like what I have is enough. I'm satisfied. I don't want no trouble. I don't want it to spoil. We don't have dreams. We don't have this vision, this dream. We want this. We got to have this. We can get this. We are not like that.
I want to hold you right there. We do have dreams, but the push, like you rightly said, we are easily contented. Most of the time, people will give you all the big dreams and everything they want to achieve, but the strength to follow your dreams,
we don't have it.
It manifests.
We don't have it.
We don't have.
We don't have it. We don't have that push. And one thing I noticed, we are not greedy.
No, it's
we are not greedy.
I call it greedy. I would call it ambitious. You know.
Okay, yes. We don't have it. It's like if you compare us with some African countries, like let's say like the Nigerians are people who always want to fight for something, want to get something, and they will do all. But Liberians, what we get, we are satisfied, we sit down. We don't want trouble. We are afraid of trouble. We are afraid of hardship, hard time. And so whenever we get hard time, we get used to that hard time and accept it and fit in. We try to fit in with situation. Any situation you give us, we will just here for that moment and then we adjust to it. And when we adjust to it, we get comfortable and then we live with it.
That's right. You know, it brings me back to the journey of Abraham. When God told Abraham, he said, leave your country, leave your people, go to a place where I will show you. Abraham was taking risk. And that's why we usually don't take Liberians. We're afraid to take risk. We're afraid new things. You know, the new things that you have no idea, but you just go and you're
just afraid. We don't like it.
Step of faith.
We are not like that.
God, even when you don't know the end result, you are still trusting God.
And this is the secret. This is the secret about the Liberians. If only our leader can understand, if only our leaders know, it is easy to deal with a Liberian. Just give a Liberian what they need. They are contented. Just give them what they need. Give them the light. Give them that water. Give them that job that they can go to and get a little money. You just give it to them.
And make sure they have rice on the market that is affordable.
Yeah. Give them rice to them. You know, our country is easy to handle. We don't like competition. We don't like fight. So if you just know your people, you know what they want, just give them what they want. Give Liberian man his full light. Give him that rent. Even he got to pay rent, that rent be that kind of rent that he can afford. Yeah. Give a Liberian man his little job. Give him one little car. He's okay. He's just okay. He's not going to struggle you, fight you. Once he is contented, if you like, you got your millions, he will not come after you. He will be contented with that. And to your surprise, if a Liberian man are earning $50, he will be able to turn $50 to one Liberian girl appear outside. You will think she earning 1,000. Exactly. She will know how to manage her $50. Because I noticed when we leave from here and go to Liberia, and when we see the Liberian girls like that, they sometimes look even better than us. They know how to manage their donga flair. You understand? Yeah. They will never be moved by your $1 million clothes you're wearing. They will go and get a duplicate to that your clothes, and when they come outside, they will embarrass you. So They only need to know Liberians. We are quick to be contented. It's just our mentality. We are just quick to be satisfied. But our leaders do not know. And I think that where they are already finding it tough for them, because if only they just knew us, just know what we need, give it to us. You can have the rest. We are not greedy people. We're not coming to kill you for what you have. We will enjoy what we have and move for what we have. You will see a Liberian girl in her Jeep passing. You will see the other one on her leg, keke going. She will tell you, who you think you are? She will be like, I'm somebody too. Even though you have your Jeep and I'm in my Tyson, but you're not better than me. I can make the best out of what I have. So we are easy people. We are easy people to deal with. Even the Liberians that are outside, there is no even competition between the Liberians that are outside. Even the ones that are outside today, they are still contented with the situation they have, with what they have.
Okay.
It's just Liberian.
Thank you so much, Nene. Now, time is fast spent. We just want to take our closing statement because we have gone above an hour. So we're going to be taking our closing statement 2 minutes each, maximum 2 minutes. You can spend 1 minute, but maximum 2 minutes so we can get up.
The Bible said my people perish. I will go first because I have cooking. The Bible said my people perish because they lack
knowledge.
Our leaders are lacking it. That is why the country is perishing. If only you knew your people. The North we have in Liberia today, we're not supposed to be having it. But they refuse to know Liberians. They refuse to know what Liberians really need. And they refuse to give Liberians what they need. And because you refuse to give them what they need, that is why you are having problems. Go and sit down. If you are a Liberian, you're supposed to know what Liberian need, what Liberian want. Give it to them. The rest, they won't come after you for it. Just make them feel comfortable. Make them be free. Let us be free to sit down outside like before. The way we used to sit outside till 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the night. Just make us to be free. The way we used to walk the street of Moria 2, 3 in the morning. We laughing and shouting, coming from out, walking along the way, laughing, playing fun. Just give us back that freedom. Bring our rest back to normal. Give us that little job that we can feed our family, we can take care of our children. Even if your child going to school in America, our child going to government school, let us just be able to send them to that government school and pay the copy books and other stuff. Just give Liberians what they need. We are not greedy people. We are not people that want so much. We are contented. So go back, leaders, study your people, know your people, give them what they need. And when you give us what we need, it will be.
Thank you so much, Nene. Thank you. Thank you. You know, when you are talking, Nene, it reminded me of President Totman, the stories that we heard about President Totman. You know, he sat in a chair for 27 years and the people were contented. In fact, they didn't think it was anything because they had a rice, they had a home, that they once you had your bedroom with one TV inside and your light, they were moving forward, man. He was the best ever.
That's just it. That's just the secret to Liberia. Give them it.
Those people that, you know, from his time, they still say he was the best president in the whole of, you know, Liberia that ever took the seat. All because they were contented with a little thing. He knew how to. I think our leaders, they need to learn the secret of talking.
That's just the secret. I just want my last 30 seconds. When I went to Liberia, I got my Zokos, my boys. The reason why I can walk in the whole of Painesville and protect them because I identify with them. I made them to feel that I love them. They are good people. They are nice people. I just made them feel comfortable. So if my one cent lost, my boys are already there. Oma said that we know where to go and get it from. My people, the problem we have today, our leaders are lacking wisdom.
That's it.
And the Bible says, let me tell everybody, let me tell Liberian people, wisdom cannot be bought. No. Wisdom cannot be bought. Okay. The only thing that is suffering us today, it is wisdom. And I want to tell people, because you're educated does not mean you have wisdom.
No.
Wisdom is from God. If you lack it, He have made it clear. Come to me, ask me. I will give it to you. So the only thing Liberian leaders need is wisdom. Amen. Let them go back to go in the closet and say, God, you put me here
The wisdom.
To control your people, I need wisdom.
Amen.
Let them be the Solomon, and when if they get that wisdom, Liberia is a sweet place to live. It's a free country to live in. But because they're lacking wisdom, they cannot see the little things that they need to do to bring peace in our country. That is why we are all fighting at this. But it is easy.
Thank you, Nene.
I can say that right here with the wisdom of God, and Liberia can have peace, because it is not something that you can do. God can do it through anybody, and it is what the leaders are lacking. All the fight that is going around is just because they don't have wisdom.
Amen. Thank
If
you
they
so
get
much.
to know that this world is not their home, if they get to know that everything they earning will be destroyed one day, they will do the best thing by sharing for everyone to partake of it, because you will never carry nothing. You never brought nothing into this world. You won't carry nothing. So if a leader open it, let everybody just eat, because everybody will die. You yourself will die. You won't carry it. So that's why the problem is the way it comes. So I'm happy to be here. Thank you for the 10 minutes.
It was good having you on. You came in last minute, but that was wonderful. We still had you. I've been trying to bring you on. We've been communicating in the background. Finally, we made it. So I'm glad. And thank you for your contribution. We will be back here again on Society and You. So don't be surprised that I'm going to be knocking your door. So please go I got her in the background. I don't want to get in trouble. So just see you.
Have a nice day. Thanks for hosting me.
All right. Thank you so much.
Okay. Mr. Cannibal, thank you. And we want to hear your final word.
Oh, thank you for that opportunity again for the closing remark. Like my sister who I just ended, she made it all for every one of us. But hearing that when she talk about our leader, other ears may understand it like it just or president. But when it comes to leaders, when she said that word, I got to understand that the wisdom that man have is the answer to everything. Because the wisdom is the key. We will respect one another, we will love one another by having a fear of the Lord. Then the wisdom going to come. But we had those representatives, senators, and they are leaders. They're leading us, even though we hire them to work for us, but they are leaders. And they sit there, even for them to even say we have the God today to sit on round table to discuss something tangible with. Since I've not seen anything up to this today's day, I'm not seeing it. For them to sit, or even cabinet minister having cabinet meeting to discuss something that will come to the feet of the Liberian people, for them to clap their hand together for that sweet land of liberty, have never been discussed in our country. All the discourse is, how am I going to be my cut if I sign a paper? What you're saying over there are not part of you, because you're already hold your envelope and each one, I will not sign paper. These are the things that they can go for meeting for. So we're speaking for people to hear it, that we will go to an end. And to say we are not greedy. We Liberian, we are not greedy, but I'm advising every Liberian to be greedy. Because if you're not greedy for what you want, if you're not hungry for what you want, you will never and ever have it. You have to get the God that you hungry. You have to get the mind that you need it. Then you walk towards it. So if we're not greedy set of people, we don't mean who we are. Instead of you grabbing what you want, you have to tie your waist and walk towards that, mirroring your mind. You'll be hungry. The tested soul always hungry. So how many tested soul we are in Liberia? So we have to be very, very hungry.
That's right.
To get to what we want to get.
That's right.
Tie our way. So our mind will be changed if we understand one love, one country, one people.
Yes.
Then we will have that change. So that's my closing remark that I offer for this time. See you next time.
Thank you so much, Ekina. Yes, that is true. The word of God says when we're hungry and we are thirsty, then we will be filled. So the hunger for that thing has to be there. The thirst has to be there for you to be filled. So when we desire that thing, he said, when you have sought for me with all your heart, you will find me. Until we reach to that place that we desire that change so much and we want to see a change, we ourselves will become catalysts of that change. It starts with us and then change will come. Thank you so much, Akina. God bless you. Deborah, you want to give us a closing statement?
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I would like to say my parting statement would be that Liberia will never be developed without us Liberians ourselves developing Liberia. We must know that foreigner will not come from anywhere to develop Liberia, so we must be more patriot. We must know that we are Liberians. There's nowhere like home, wherever we are, wherever we go, no matter what we become, especially for those of us that were born in Liberia. Liberia is the sweetest place to be. It's because of the lack of patriotism, the lack of system. That's what got a lot of Liberians out. But I tell you, if there's a system wherein Liberians are, or wherein the resources of Liberia is distributed equally, where there's equal rights and justice, many Liberians will go back home. I'm telling you, many Liberians are craving to go back home. But because of the broken system that we have, this is why got a lot of Liberians out of Liberia. And to Liberians back there, I want us to change our mentality. That because I did not work for this thing, so I do not value it. Anything that Liberians, most of the time, that we do not work for. Take, for example, you send a car or you send things, they will just mismanage it and say, oh man, I didn't buy it. We need to change. And let me just go back to the LCC, the Council of Churches, because this church supposed to serve as a beacon, as a light to the nation. God said he has given the sheep, the sheep to the shepherd, and the shepherd must be able to guard the flock. If the churches do not stand up for righteousness in Liberia, Liberia will always remain as she is. All right? The churches should teach righteousness. We should do away with prosperity. We should do away. Oh, somebody did this thing with you, to you. We need to tell them we need to be accountable. We need to be honest. The Bible says, "Thou shalt not lie, thou shalt not steal." We need to preach the 10 Commandments. There are a lot of things that have been going on in the country, and I've been talking all my life. The church is silent. In the days of old, the churches rose up like Deborah in the book of Judges 4, where Mani came for, she was a judge. She was a prophetess. And she went for a battle. And what they did, they went around Jericho, and the walls came tumbling down. What's the difference between then and now? Don't we have the same old God? The Bible says if we have faith, like a mustard seed, we can say be removed, and it goes into the ocean. So we need the churches to stand up. Too many lives are taking, too many of our babies are being raped, and the church is silent. We need the church's voices to be heard now, so that Liberians can know that God is in our midst. But God has turned his face from us. Let me be very frank. God has turned his face right now in Liberia because they sin too much. We will not want to admit it, but Liberia is almost like Sodom and Gomorrah. Immorality, corruption, murderers, they are there.
May
We
the
need
Lord
to
help us.
ask for repentance.
May the Lord help us. Thank you
In
so much.
Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Thank you so much.
Deborah. And then we have our closing statement from Jensen.
Well, firstly, I want to say thanks to all of the discussants, and that was very good of them. Yeah, Deborah, Iknan, and Nene. I want to say thanks to all of them who came on the show, and also to you, patient. My closing comments on mentality is just to sum up in three areas. There are abundance mentality, there are mentality of positivity, people who have a positive mindset, and there are people who are striving for growth, what I would describe as growth mentality. So each one, like Nana said, leaders who are elected or selected by God to lead need to find that if they don't have abundance of mentality, they must get people surrounding them with mentality, with positive mentality. The absence of leaders getting positive people around them will worsen situations. When people don't have abundance and positive or growth mentality, they always fighting. They are always fighting. They always, you know, behave as though they are protecting their job. As a result, they are scared to advise their leaders. If a leader surrounds himself with people who are positively thinking, a very positive individual doesn't worry about job. He doesn't
Amen.
worry about being fired. He doesn't worry about being fired. He's more worried about what the achievements of that office would be. So we
Okay.
think, I agree with Nene and all of the speakers that wisdom comes from God. It's not everybody that do have wisdom. The best you can do is to speak. And how to speak sometimes is to bring people. That's what good leaders will do. Look in the society, find people who you think you bring around them will advise you. Not
Mm.
somebody who will just think praises to you. When
Okay.
we change the mentality, a lot more can do, can put up positively. If the
That's right.
leader is saying, hey, let's do this, then maybe that man, that staff us, went home and thought of the whole thing. But if he said yesterday, please, my own low voice, I thought that don't do that. Maybe a leader will
Amen.
get back. Even you get back after 2 times, maybe you took a decision. But if you just bounce back, then you say, oh, had I listened to Genesis, this thing would have been positive. That's why people who surround themselves with leaders. So we say thank you,
Amen.
Christian, for this morning. And that was a very brilliant topic that you guys selected, and I think was good for the season. So I wanted to thank you, and I was glad to be one of the discussants.
Thank you so much, our viewers, and thank you for our panelists for joining us today on Society and You. And our topic today was the Liberian mentality. And we hope to be here again another time next week. And please continue to share the video and let's change our mentality for the good, for the betterment of Liberia. Thank you for joining us. This has been a presentation by the 2A Radio TV, all the way from Pennsylvania and Minnesota. Have a blessed week.